we're gonna mosey on over here and look at our meat birds. They need a refill on their food, but they're over here on grass, so I want them to eat a little grass. So I'm gonna wait to fill their feeder a little bit, just so you can see them get pecking on grass and stuff. Normally I have them in a water tote, but now that they're feathered out, they can be in this little, really it's just a dog pen, but it works perfect. And these guys are just a month older than what we posted originally. You can see how fast they grow since they're meat birds. They grow very rapidly. And this just gives them a chance to move around, eat some grass, bugs, whatever they find, scratch in the dirt, live the best life they can for the short while they're here, because normally they're only around for about 8 weeks, and then it's butchering time. So we try and give them the best little life they can live, and I'll just keep shifting them around. As this one's almost done, I'm gonna go ahead and move them probably either probably later today, because they poop a lot because of the amount they eat. So I try and keep it as clean as possible for them, and we'll just keep shimmying around on this grass and dirt so they can take dust baths, eat bugs, eat blades of grass, and be happy as they can be for their little lives. Hi guys! I see y'all have been taking dirt baths. They're a little muddy because you got a little rain. Hi guys! But, oh, sorry, didn't scare you. Okay. So yeah, they were about 4 weeks into this, and so got another 4 weeks, and they've grown substantially. My layers are maybe half to a quarter of their size, so it's just crazy how fast these guys really truly do grow. 2 llamas. Oh. The white llama's not super friendly towards people. I mean, she tolerates you in her space, but not a huge fan. The goats always knock the feeders over if you don't T-post them in. Sue's getting rammed. It's just a great morning to be alive, I guess. So we're gonna walk down here. Sue's gonna walk with me because she knows no one can get her if she walks next to me. There's Feline with her baby right back there. Come on, girls. Come on, girls. They know the routine. Every morning or mid-morning, I let them out in here. They get to graze for a few hours, and then later in the afternoon, they get to come back out, and they know the routine. But I'm gonna make them wait a second, because I would like to get a video of how they stampede in here. Go that way. Go back. She said, okay. Where is he at? Immediately, babies always go hide. The dogs are over there checking something out on the fence line. Okay, like I was saying earlier about the tagging, we flip the boys backwards and the girls forward. So the button on the front is for a girl, and the hole, like when you see a little dot, that's a hole, that's for the boys. So that way when I'm just walking around, I know there's 2 girls and a boy here. I'm not having to look under or anything like that. Of course, you can usually tell which are boys and which are girls just by the looks of them. Usually the girls are more dainty, a little bit smaller, and don't have the horns. But right now, you couldn't tell because they're babies. And whenever we need to move or work them, that way we know what's a boy, what's a girl, and come weaning time, it's easy. And we're not, if we're questionable, we don't accidentally leave a little Billy kid in with the nanny kids or anything like that. So it's very important for us to make sure we get it right. I think there's only a single kid I messed up on, and his mother actually has a flip tag as well. So we'll probably end up just making that a thing with those, and we'll always know who that is. Especially if we keep that Billy kid, we'll know who he is. He's a light blonde Billy. So that's just how we know, and it comes in handy. We didn't start doing that till not too long ago, maybe a year or so, and we've just really liked that. And it just helps. It's a visual thing, and that way we can easily flip, that's a girl, that's a boy, and pull out who we need or know who's who. And so, yeah, that's just a quick, easy way. And then our rights and left, we've gone over it, are depending on birth year and colors as well. So that we just know when it is. Nick is much better at remembering what color is what year than I am, but we do have a chart that we both have saved in our phones. For example, if he needs to look, normally he can recite it straight off the top of his head. I cannot most of the time, so he has it down pat. He's definitely better at that than me. But you can see that nanny over there, she's taking that baby away. She said, nope, this isn't safe, we've got to go. This lady's here, we got to go, follow me, child. So that's what she's doing. And everyone else, they'll make their way in there. Some of that grass is knee-high and things like that, so they'll be on there for a couple hours today, and then we'll pull them off. They like to go lay in it, they go eat it. And then this white fence you see is a training fence for the kids, so when we move them here soon, the kids already know that that fence bites, and we don't have to worry about a kid really getting stuck in the fence so much. They know that that fence will bite them, and it makes them also problem solve in the sense there's only one way in, one way out. So that way those kids start learning to recognize what a gate entrance is and everything else like their moms. And that way it makes them easier to work. That kid over there, he might go get shocked because he wants to go to his mom, but he's on the wrong side of the fence. But he's got to go the opposite way to get back to mom. And some people might be like, well, they're too stupid to figure that out. They're not. I've watched kids think about it. They get shocked a couple times and they're like, you know what, this isn't the way to go. And then they'll backtrack, go around, run to mom. So it just sets them up for success and kind of problem solving there, just like a dog. So all of that's nice and hot, and they'll usually get shocked. Sometimes they go through it, and since they're small enough, they just slip right through and it's not a big deal. But over time, they learn, that doesn't feel that good, it's not worth shooting through. So at this young age, it sets them up for so much success to go ahead and be moved around and rotate. And if anyone else wants to use electric fence, then it's easier on them because the goats already broke to it from such a young age that they even respect it most of the time when if it's down or off or anything like that. So that's our biggest thing, is getting these kids to broke to fence. You know, usually when we first put them in here, we didn't have it on just because we didn't want getting anyone tangled up or anything like that. But now that they're all a little bit older, we've got some in here that are 2-3 weeks old, give or take. And so it's time to go ahead to start learning. And then normally half of these won't ever even get shocked in their life because they've seen their friends get shocked, and that scream and the blow they give is a warning call. And they're like, something bad happened on that fence. Might as well not even touch it, might not get near it. So it's just been great to teach them. The nannies teach them to go around, and then they teach themselves to go around after they get shocked a few times. So yeah, that's just how we've been doing it with this season's kids, and I've been really liking it, and we'll probably keep doing it so that way we can watch them and make sure we don't lose a kid in the fence, because it can happen, just like anything, you know. We don't want to see it, but sometimes it happens. It's happened in the past. We've only lost maybe 1 or 2 goats in the electric fence. Very, very low number from what we run. And normally it's ones that we had just gotten and they weren't broke to it. So it was more in the beginning. And now that we've had goats that are broke to it and have taught the others and, you know, made sure our fence is plenty hot, it's paid off 100%. So there they are. And there's Bobo. Okay, so something else I wanted to talk about with the guard dogs that I think is very important is to have gait manners. You know, of course your dog's gonna want to go out and widen their berth, but it's so important to have a dog that knows when no, or whatever noise you make or word you say, to tell them nope, don't do that, because you know, just now I was putting this new 50-pound feeder in here, so don't have to fill it as often for these two dogs. And Worm, granted, he did come out to me, but he was hesitant and he stopped right about here. He came out just far enough that I saw him. He didn't just take off down the driveway, down the road, and not listen. You know, I can be honest, not all my dogs have the best recall necessarily. If they're in a new pasture, they're gonna go do their thing and go look at the pasture. That's just what they're gonna do. That's what they're bred to do. And, you know, that's fine by me. But most of the time I can say their names and they're gonna come back, especially if they know they're not supposed to be out. Like if the fence were down and I left a gate open, something like that. But it is so important to me to have gate manners. You know, these dogs, I can open this gate and walk over there or do what I need to do. You know, I'm not gonna get out of sight of the gate, but if I'm around and I've left this gate cracked, as long as the goats aren't around, because they're not gonna respect anything, they're just gonna go through. But you know, if I'm doing something and the goats are in the field and I need to leave this open to walk through, make it easier for me, they know better than to run through this gate and plow through me. And that's just a mutual respect we have. You know, of course I'm gonna let you out sometimes if when we're moving to a new pasture, like if we're going to this pasture over here, if we're going over here, and that's fine. But if I say or no, something like that, they know better. It's all right, you're all right. And they know better than to shoot through that gate. So I think that's something that's super important to have with your dogs, is to have that respect and have that, you know, relationship where you could say no and they know what it means and they know they're not gonna, you know, get in super bad trouble, but don't do that. That's just what that means. And so all of our dogs, for the most part, you know, young dogs, you know, they make mistakes, but all my adult dogs that I have now, you tell them no or make the ant noise and they'll step back, or they know what get back means. So I think that's just something that's so vital and so important, especially if you're working alone a lot of the time and you need that gate open, you don't have someone to open and close the gate for you. To have these dogs that know what that is. And so they're eating, you know, I've just refilled this with their high protein food. And so I put a little out for Rip over there. So there's no fighting. That's something else, you know, you just gotta watch them fighting. There's a hierarchy there. So I went ahead and dumped some out for Rip to eat over there. Worm's gonna eat his. But anyway, I just wanted to get on my soapbox and talk about how for us, it is so important to have a dog that respects the gate and knows better than to push his boundaries with it and everything else. So, and that's just for us. Maybe you're at your farm, it doesn't matter. They can run through them. But when it comes to me, that even comes for my border collies. If I don't ask you to go through, then don't go through. Don't rush through and push me down to get in there. You know, I might put them in a down, or I might start. I always go through first usually, just out of habit. I'll open the gate and I'll go Flynn or May or Kaya, whoever it is. I go through the gate first, and that way I can bring the dog behind me, so that way if I need to keep him back for any reason, it's not a big deal and I can put him in a down, or they just know not to push through me, you know. So biggest thing there with any of the dogs, especially the guard dogs though, because of course they're gonna want to go gallivant. They're gonna want to go check out what's down the road or anything else. So, and shout out to the Danger Ranger here for being so trustworthy. So the door is not shut. I'm going to have to re-slam it. So anyway, toodaloo.